Hey there hunters, welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today in Wild Hearts we're going to talk about the content update that dropped today. This is the first of 2 updates this month, but first, let me thank my sponsor. This video is sponsored by G Fuel, a great tasting dietary supplement that makes me feel like, hey, I don't need to go to the gym or eat healthy, I got vitamins. You can support me by supporting yourself with my promo code FEM to get 20% off at checkout. Alright, back to Wild Hearts. So the patch notes here contain a ton of changes, like hundreds. Unfortunately, there's absolutely no formatting and things kind of contradict each other, like increased arrow burst damage and decreased arrow burst damage. So if you want to find something, control F it. Overall though, most weapons seem to have gained buffs or quality of life fixes, which is great, besides bow, which got gutted, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I didn't see any performance fixes or boosts like that. Maybe there's some other stuff done, like, under the hood that just aren't noted here. But general bug fixes and whatnot, there's plenty here, so maybe the game just runs better. I do advise you to take a look at this though. I'll leave a link in the description below, but yeah, look at the patch notes. Next, we got the deeply volatile lava back, or Hellfire Lawhard back. This new kimono is easily the toughest fight in the game because it does not stop ever, and he can easily wombo combo you. He really has some serious combos, and his moveset is almost entirely redone, which is awesome to see. It's not just like a variant with one more move or anything. Like, I really like this fight, but it is crazy difficult. Like, not because of him, but the fighting the game jank is the real monster. Improper Karakuri placements, the camera, the field of view, and the inaccessible hit zones make this guy seriously stand out above the rest in terms of just fighting. Like, he is rough. Unfortunately, Hellfire Monkey does not come with any new weapons or armor since he is a deeply volatile monster. We're gonna have to wait till the 23rd for that sort of things. What he does have though is a unique type of talisman that is randomly obtained from his hunt, not every time, it's just a chance, which is called a Pyroclastic Talisman. This comes with one skill that is going to be Infernal Blow, which is incredibly vague unfortunately. Now it says it increases the chance of setting prey ablaze and boosts the power of attacks against a blazed kimono. Okay, fair enough. If it's 13%, I assume I'm going to get 13% more damage against ignited kimono, right? But what is the increased chance of igniting a kimono? Is it also 13%? Is that an additive 13%, or is that multiplicative? Does it stack with Flame Wielder? Do I even need Flame Wielder? I don't know. But monsters don't stay ignited very long, so that damage boost isn't going to have great uptime. Granted, I think the increased chance of igniting could be cool if we can chain ignites better, but we also just got a status nerf last update, so I don't know what's going on. I think the skill could be great in the future if we got good elemental weapons with that, base 10% ignite chance, but right now, I honestly don't really care for it. I think we need other changes to the weapon tree before I'm interested in stuff like this. So that's everything that was added, which, I wasn't expecting a lot, but the weapon changes sure were a lot. Speaking of though, let's talk about the bow nerf and the cannon buff. Bow nerf was really hard in my opinion. Not only did bows damage get nerfed on the burst, I think I went from 323 to the training dummy to about 284, which isn't a ton, but it is still a 15% damage nerf. Then they also got hit hard with limiting the amount of arrows that can stick into monsters before getting overridden, which I know they did this because you could lag the game really hard by putting in a ton of arrows into a monster, and I would have been okay with this if they buffed the damage to compensate you having half the amount of arrows you can put in. They didn't have to give the arrows double damage or anything like that. If they did no damage nerf, I think it would have been okay, but it looks like we can only put about 12 to 15 arrows in a monster, so some attacks like the volley have become significantly less rewarding to use. And then they also reduced the detonation range of the arrows, so it's actually really easy to hit the monster with your charged up arrow, and then you don't explode your other arrows because it's just too far away, and that's double annoying. See, I think bow could have used a nerf. That's sure fine. Limit the number of arrows we have, would have been okay. But they should have just nerfed that. It would have just been a damage nerf, it would have been fine. It's everything else together is what makes bow feel pretty terrible now in my opinion. Because not only now do we have to do basically double the setup to get the same damage, thanks to only being able to plant a dozen arrows in the monster, but now we can miss our charged up shots, and then we have to do those again and try and get the explosions, so we're just wasting so much time. Now we're effectively doubling the actions we have to do to get the same damage output, but we also lost damage, so that sucks too. I don't know, it just feels really bad, and I'm not quite enjoying bow as much anymore, especially with all the other melee weapons getting big buffs, and those are all doing great. Again, bow needed a nerf, but not this much of a nerf. And of course, let's talk about cannon. The only thing that changed with cannon is that the laser is stronger, and not the explosion, just the laser beam ticks. which I find to be absolutely stupid. We're now even more front-loaded on all our damage just being put into the laser, which is making the cannon just awful for solo play. Cannon needed increased crit distance and mortar range and base damage from the normal shooting, not laser damage. I was expecting like the jump shot to be increased or just not scale with the distance travel so I can use it point blank. It's dumb right now. But nope, more laser damage. So I'm not too happy with it, to be honest, because now both the weapons I use feel way worse than they should. I'm gonna keep playing them, of course, because I gotta, but I wasn't expecting them to get hit this hard this patch. I mean, obviously, Cannon didn't get hit hard, it just didn't get anything while every other weapon did. I still want to see changes to the armor and weapon upgrade system and performance before we actually get some actual content, because if we keep like sticking to the course as it is, I'm not going to be super motivated to play much. Like, I'm getting into maintenance mode like Rise, where I just play the update and stop, and I don't want to do that because I really think this game has a lot of potential. But that's going to be all for me. Thank you all for watching. Sorry about being so grim. I wish I was more excited, but I'm not. But yeah, thank you to my Patreon members as well. Much appreciated. If anyone wants to talk about Wild Hearts or gaming in general, feel free to hit me up on my Discord in the description below. But yeah, peace and good luck out there, hunters.